Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mari's Golden Hour. This episode it was going to be my birthday episode, but my birthday was the day before, which is the 30th, and I'm recording this instead on Memorial Day. Why, you ask? Well, because my birthday, the day itself, was rather busy. So I didn't pack it with a bunch of partying plans or a huge booze fest, but I pretty much was playing catch up on all the things that I don't have time to do during a normal day because this thing called work gets in the way. But I was just playing catch up and racing and trying to beat the clock in order to complete everything that I had on my list of things to get done within a certain amount of time. And also interspersed with the things that I was supposed to do, I was taking advantage of the birthday freebies that come along when it is one's birthday, and you sign up for stuff, and they're like, hey, we'll give you free things on your birthday, and we'll give you even more of a discount on stuff, so you can spend more money on things that you want and need and really don't need. So that's what I was doing, and also trying to reorganize and just be more on top of things, because the disorganization brings about disorganized mind and life and things and stuff, and I just feel like things will fall into place once I knock out all these things that are on my list, and I'm almost there, and I was so focused on the task at hand, I almost forgot the time and forgot about recording the podcast. So here I am, and I'm looking at this is my golden hour, so I'm gonna take a break. And I'm taking my break with you. So, let's see, what happened this week? Actually, my week was busy. I feel like the past several weeks have gotten quite busy, and it's just amped up as the time, the days, the weeks go on. And, I'm just trying to stay ahead of that. And I miss the days of things slowing down, which I did not have a chance to soak that in. I had maybe a few days in the grand scheme of things, and then nope, get back to it. So I guess that's life. But time management, it's something I guess I'll constantly always have to work on. And let's see, because I can't put in any more hours in the day. I know that. But, let's see, what else? Anything interesting? Nothing that stands out. So I guess what I will do is just talk about, you know what? I can't remember where I was. I know I was running an errand, and I was on a bit of a time constraint, or schedule, as it were, if you will, as you were. Anyway, so crazy, I stopped the car, and then as soon as I stopped the car, crazy came on. It was that opening, like, and the volume was up at a certain level that just, like, amplified everything. And it gave me pause. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this stop, it can wait, because I need to hear this through. And I never really paid much attention to the song. Like, I heard it, I know of Seal, and I know of the song and its popularity, but I wasn't into it. And because, I don't know, just a lot of the mainstream stuff, it's so overplayed. So there's been some time since I last heard that particular song. And the opening of that just was so amplified and just like epic. I was like, whoa, oh, okay. Yeah, kind of like blew me back a little bit. And I actually, for the first time, listened to the words. And it just, I don't know, it carried weight and meaning this time around when I heard it. And it just hit different. And it hit and it sunk in. And it just, I don't know, I felt very moved by listening to his song during the week. Oh wait, was it this week? I think it might have been last week that I heard it. But regardless, it was very fitting for the time. And I was moved. And then it reminded me of a moment that I had. I worked his concert. It was held in this outdoor concert venue that sat about I think 4,000 people. So it was kind of like a small intimate place, and it was right on the waterfront, and you could all the yachts and dinner boats and whatnot would go through, because this was on the west bank. And I remember working this concert, and I wasn't a huge Seal fan, but I appreciated his music and his talent, but I wasn't clamoring to buy the albums or anything. And it was a sold out show. They more than sold it out, and I was just kind of impressed because I didn't realize that how many people just loved Seal. Just were all about it, and they knew the words to practically all of his songs. And there was one, I cannot remember the name of that song, but it was one of the popular ones, another one of his hits, and something about fire can never be burned, or love will carry on. I think that might be the name of the song, or love will carry us on, something along those lines. But everybody, to hear the whole crowd singing that, and that there were other people even outside of that venue singing it, because it's an outdoor, we're on the water at the lake, and Lake Erie I'm talking about. And so this is downtown, and it's wide open, and depending upon your angle, some people that are on the water and going through the bank can probably see the stage as well. But it was just so that moment. It was a moment, a real moment, and the crowd was singing a cappella. He took out the music, and everybody sang along, and to have people in key and in time as well, it was beautiful. And I was blown away, and there was also that part of me that's okay, music really does unite people, because I'm just going to be real here. I was a little surprised to see so many white people attending a Seal concert, and because it tends to, at least in that area, there was just so many blue collar workers, and just the amount of racist-ish things that were said and done around those times. Again, because of that, and I know how a lot of those people were. I don't know if they are still the same way, but let's just put it this way. My feeling and sentiment, it's valid. I'll leave it at that. So that's what surprised me. But it is a beautiful thing, and I loved it. And it's oh man, I love that. Just I don't know, the thing that I love about music is just moving. So that was my time having anything to do with Seal. Let's see, what else did I learn? Oh, musically. So I was listening to this interview, I didn't realize it was the Black Keys at the time, but then once I heard them speak, because I think I was busy doing other stuff, but just the sound of whoever was speaking, I think it was Dan Auerbach who was speaking this time around, and it's like, wait, his voice sounds familiar, but it didn't really sink in. And then I heard him mention something about Northeast Ohio, and like in reference to something like they were living there at the time, or that's where they're from, or that's what they were writing about. And just, I don't know, they weren't specific, but the way that they had talked about whatever question was thrown at them, it led me to believe that, wait a minute, are they from Cleveland or like Akron? And I haven't gotten around to looking that up. I know that I could easily check with McGoogle and find out the information, but I'm being a little lazy. So just suffice it to say that I was a little surprised that, wait a minute, I didn't know that they were from Ohio. And that's it. That's all I got. But yeah, my intro to Black Keys, I remember I was working at this PR firm in downtown LA, and there was a guy who, I think he was like on this like, he just always reminded me of like just one of those dudes that would just like pick up and go to another country, and it's going to either be like someplace like someplace in South America, or like Ibiza or something, and just like, pick up and like go at a moment's notice, and all that they are bringing with them is a backpack, and they rely on the kindness of strangers, and yet they somehow are like staying at like a 5-star establishment with like no money. So that's what this guy reminded me of. And he had asked me, he's like, hey, have you heard of this band called the Black Keys? I'm like, no, I haven't. He's like, oh, you gotta get into them. And he burned me a CD, which I still have. And I don't know if I know I listened to it, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. And I didn't think anything of them. But that CD that he gave me was well before their popularity. It's like I heard that title, or I heard of the group from this guy that I worked with at the PR firm, and the music was pretty good. And then time passed, like a lot of time, like a large chunk of time, and then all of a sudden they just like blew up. Which I know that they've been in the game for a minute, but it's like I just expected, once I heard that music, I'm like, oh, this is pretty good stuff, and I felt like it should have blown up then. But apparently it took people years to catch up on them. So, and here we are now, and they're like the hot band, and they've been a hot band for quite some time. So, but anyway, that's my story of how I came across the Black Keys. See, what else did I do? There is I came across, I think it's the latest issue of Sports Illustrated, and on the cover, it's the lead. It's the cover story, which is about the WNBA, and I just started reading it, and it was really interesting. I was only able to get through like 1 or 2 pages, but I had to work, so I couldn't read the rest of it. But what I read so far was like really, really interesting and compelling, and I think like what got me into it, so it has I think some of the top players in the league right now that are on for the cover photo, and then the subtitle, it was something like why you should be into the WNBA, and the compelling reason why you are not, or something like that. Like, it was just very smartly written to engage a reader to find out, all right, let's hear this, And I think she started off with like using either her husband or like a really good friend. I can't remember what the relationship was of why he doesn't watch the WNBA, and like the reporter like lists the reasons that he gave, And I think she proceeded to, like, the rest of her expose is like knocking all those out, like why, or this is the reason why, and what's going on, and why aren't they blowing up, and it's very compelling and engaging article, and I can't wait to read the rest of it. So make sure you do that if you can get your hands on it, or read it online. Whatever method of reading, or however you digest your information, do it. And let's see, what else? So there was a bit of some loss that I had experienced a couple months ago, and this is to property, not human beings. And the thought dawned on me that it's like, oh, well, I lost that, and why do I feel bad about it? I mean, aside from the fact that something that was mine and valued was taken, I realized that it's like, oh, I lost a safety net. Yeah, I lost a safety net. And sorry, like my brain is working faster than my tongue, and my tongue feels like it has molasses in it. Yeah, it's just when you lose your safety net, like you have that loss of that loss that you don't have anything else to fall back on. So I don't know. It was just a random thought that popped in, which likely doesn't make any sense. But you know what? I'm gonna keep on babbling. So my birthday was Sunday, May 30th, which is the actual Memorial Day. And yes, look it up. It is the Memorial Day. So the Memorial Day that everybody celebrates is like the observed Memorial Day. So, I also have my birthday weekend is shared with other family members. There was one on the 29th and another one to come, which will be June 1st. And so that, I don't know, I kind of dig that we all have birthdays around the same time. Not all of us, but, just the three of us. And so I was reflecting on, like, what are the best birthdays that I've had? And I know I've had some, like, cool birthdays, but the first one that popped, actually, the first and the only one that really comes to mind that, like, stands out is, I remember, let's see, yeah, I was in college, and I can't remember which year it was. I'm almost positive it was, like, sophomore or junior year. And so three of my friends from the dorm, they're like, we're gonna celebrate your birthday, and here we go, but we're gonna blindfold you. And so they blindfolded me and held, and I can't remember if they blindfolded me once I got to the car. I like to think that that's what happened. They didn't make me blindfold myself, like trying to get out of the building and into the car, because that would have just taken forever. But so I was blindfolded, and they drove around, and navigationally speaking, and especially where we were at the time, I know my way around. Like I like front, back of my hand, and different shortcuts and all that stuff. And so as far as the navigation is concerned, I could tell which direction we were going, but then they were making like crazy turns to really throw me off. And then they succeeded, but I knew that we were still like somewhere downtown. But so as far as like where we could go, and I can't remember if this was like a slow, like if it was like a Tuesday or something. So it's like there's only going to be so many things that are open, and we were going out kind of late. So and then they're like, oh, Murray, there's like hot guys next to us, and they were honking their horn, and they're like, wave at them. And so I'm like, all right, I'll go ahead and wave. I doubt there's anybody there, but I'll still go ahead and do it. And so anyway, we arrived, and I couldn't take off the blindfold. I think, I'm pretty sure that this is what they made me do. Like, I couldn't take off my blindfold until I had my birthday shot. And then after that, I can go ahead and take it off. And so basically, they did all this driving around, and we ended up at this local neighborhood dive bar that we would hang out at all the time, called Becky's. and Becky's had the best pierogies. Oh, they were like the ones with cheese in them too. And I would always get mine with sauteed mushrooms on the side. And I think they came with onions as well. And I would just make sure that they sauteed that. And they just had like the perfect color on them, the perfect like amount of, like burn from the pan. And just, oh gosh, those things are so delicious. And then they had dollar Molson nights on Thursdays. Yeah, Molson's cheap beer, yay! Becky's was like just so much fun, and it was a place where like everybody was there. Like you had people from like the Cleveland Playhouse Square, which those are like the two bigger like theater venues in town, and then you had like the local celebrities like the newscasters. And then like some of the pro players for the different sports teams have come through. You had the dudes from Vice coming in. What else? Yeah, just like sports actors, all the road shows. Everybody would like come through to Becky's, and you could be dressed to the nines or dressed like in flannel and sweats. Like everybody was welcome, and you could wear whatever, and nobody like batted an eye, like however you were dressed. And man, it was just a lot of fun, and I got into a lot of trouble there. But man, just had some of the good times. And we were friends with the owner, and then also with their the bartender that worked there like forever. And so there were some like after hours hangouts that would happen too, just because our crew was pretty well liked. And yeah, good times. Anyway, story for another time. So for my birthday, aside from doing all the running around that I did, I received a call from a family member late Saturday evening, and this was to wish. It was basically like a pre-birthday, happy birthday, and then also like a time for me to say happy birthday to my family member. And so that happened, and I was told like that they were in San Diego, which I wasn't aware of, but apparently it was like a little last-minute plan on their end too. And I said, oh well, and basically they're like, it'd be nice to see you. So I wasn't too sure if I'd be able to go, because I knew I had so much to do and I had a lot on my plate. But I thought, you know what? And the more I thought about it, I thought, what a nice way for me to like spend part of my birthday. So I said, you know what? I'll drive on down. And so yeah, I decided to spend part of my birthday in San Diego, hanging with family, and it was a fun time. I came bearing gifts, and I just because the hour that I left and for what I had time for, I wasn't able to leave until a lot later than I wanted to, but I was able to knock some stuff out. And plus, the later that I left, the better that traffic was, because leaving any earlier, it was just bad. And as it turns out, by the time I got there, my family wasn't there. I think like I had to wait like an additional like 10 minutes. So even if I had showed up earlier, they wouldn't have been there, and I just would have been hanging out on the porch. So, and their in-laws didn't have a key to the house, so we were all just hanging outside. So it was interesting. It was fun. I had a good time, and I think I was there for like maybe 30 minutes, 45, and like 60 minutes at the most. So, drove down to San Diego, raced there as fast as I could, even though I still had to wait to be let in, but that's fine. And, just hung out, played like a lot, and gave a lot of hugs, and then I came on back home. And of course the drive home was just like nothing, and it flew by, and it had great music going down there and coming back home. And yeah, it was really cool. It was a really good way to spend my birthday. There's very few negatives that happen, so which is always a good thing. And there was an awful lot of accidents that I saw on the way down. It was crazy. It was just insane that there were just that many people that weren't paying attention. And if it weren't for those accidents, traffic would not have slowed at all. So be careful out there, people. Just be careful. And it was fun. It was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm taking a road trip. Like, I haven't taken a road trip in a very long time. And I didn't pack snacks because I knew I wasn't going to be in the car that long. And to be honest, I really wasn't all that hungry. But I just did a lot of channel surfing with the radio and listened to a lot of Christian music. A lot of that was like coming through real clear. And there was like actually a few really good ones that played. And when I get to the music list, some of those, or actually one, maybe two of those will pop through. But yeah, it was just fun. The Christian music included. There were some that drew me in and that were good to listen to, but overall it was like, all right, you know. It's not my favorite genre, but it's also not horrible. So, definitely heard a lot of really good salsa and samba music when I got back home. That was nice to come home to. It was like that and other dance music, but it was like I was just jazzed and was pumped, and I should not have been. I should have been sleeping because I was supposed to get up super early this morning, and it didn't happen because I was listening to really good samba and salsa music. But I also stumbled on a station which I don't know if it's new, if it's been around, but or it like the station was something else and it changed formats. But I was in heaven with this radio station that was playing like a lot of the old school jams, and so I was like introduced to that station like on my birthday and listened to it on Memorial Day today. So it was just really, really nice. And seeing as how I'm talking about music, let's go ahead and get to my music corner. Mari's Music Corner. So I guess that'll be my intro song for when I end up getting to this, to the music that I want to share with you. The music that I've been hearing. Actually, this is the music I've been listening to throughout the month. And there were a lot of days when I guess I was kind of going music free, or I really wasn't hearing much that inspired, or, you know, it's like these are a lot of the songs I've already mentioned before, so my list, it may be extensive, but keep in mind that this is like for the entire month of May. So because what I did in the past few episodes, the past few podcasts from earlier, well, actually, those were episodes, I guess. Anyway, the past week's podcast, I've been breaking up the music that I heard in April over chunks. So now this is all of May. And don't worry, it's not going to take like a super long time to get through this. So, and here we go. I guess pause it or rewind it if you need to take note of the bands and the songs that I'm sharing. So with that, here we go. So Bum Bum by Sister Nancy, which if you were into dancehall at all, you'll recognize it. But it's Bum Bum, B-A-M by Sister Nancy. So again, once you hear it, you're like, oh, that's that song. Turn the Music Up by Prep. I know I've mentioned that song and group before. It has like a very, you feel like you're in like Miami. Like it has like a retro sort of a sound to it. And it feels very 80s. 80s Miami. Yeah. Pop Life by Prince. One of my favorite Prince songs. Like, there's like a small chunk of ones that just, I always like, so Pop Life. Now my preferred version is the extended cut that has like all the extras, and I can't remember how long it is, but it's not the radio edit, but this one is like the extended version. That's the one that I like. But yeah, Pop Life, I've always just loved that one. And I think that one's off the Around the World in a Day. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's off of that album. Talkin' Techno by Sonic Boom. Why did I don't know. Well, once you just hear it, I wrote all of these things down because they stood out for one reason or another, but right now I just can't remember. Talkin' Techno. Wishing Well by Terrence Trent D'Arby. I think I was in some store and that randomly came on, and I hung out in the store longer just so I could listen to the rest of this song. It's been a long time since I heard it, but Wishing Well, actually, that song just, for me, it evokes road trips or having to travel from gig to gig by car, because it was a way for me to have my car in whatever city I was working in, as opposed to dealing with a rental or having the company supply me with a car, and then I have to worry about that. Alright, so sorry if that sounds weird. I heard some sort of a really weird noise. I'm not exactly too sure what that was, so I don't know if it's a ghost or whatnot. So anyway, moving on. Can't Find My Way Home by Blind Faith. That song, it has like a very why can't I think of the band? It's the same group that does Wayward Son. It has that sort of like a Americana, very rock sort of sound to it. What else? Ooh, I'm a Man, Steve Winwood. This song has a Doobie Brothers sound, and that's who I thought it was. Briefly, like the very, very first time I heard it. Yeah. But anyway, it's another song that I've liked over the years. Call Me, Come Back Home, Al Green, because Al Green. Done For Me, Charlie Puth, just has a cool sound to it. Night Boat to Cairo, Madness. Oh, love that group. And I don't know, the video, like, looking at some of those things now, it's like, is it problematic? Is it not? But they're being their quirky British selves, and but I love the music. For Madness is just, they've been consistent, and yeah, I'm gonna stick to it. August Day Song by Bebo. I think it's Gilberto. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Just a beautiful song, very beautiful. August Day Song, Bebel Gilberto. Crazy by Seal. I know I mentioned that already. Here we go. No Oldie But Goodie. Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots, Part 1, The Flaming Lips. And I feel like I've talked about the Flaming Lips before. Only saw them once live many years ago, and it was for a screening of some movie that Adam, I can't remember his last name. You'd recognize the guy if you saw him. He's been in a lot of stuff. And this particular movie, it was his directorial debut, I think. Or he directed it and he was just having a screening. But he's, worked on other projects before. But anyway, so there was the screening, and I invited a friend with me to check it out, and there was an after party. And the person that I invited, they hung out for a little bit, and they're like, all right, well, I'm going to go home. I'm like, all right, well, go ahead. I'm going to keep on hanging out. And I hung out, and then next thing I know, I can't remember if there was an announcement made, or if, like, the director got up on stage and was like, I just want to thank everybody for attending the movie, and I want to introduce you to Flaming Lips. And I'm like, no way! And so not only did we have this after party that I believe there was an open bar, there were some snacks there, but the Flaming Lips performed. Like, I was just, I was blown away. And I'd never seen them live. And I swear to you, like, yeah, I think I had a beer, maybe two, but I definitely wasn't wasted or anything. Like, it just, and I think they were light beers, so. But at this Flaming Lips concert, that it was like this surprise impromptu concert that those in the studio audience, those that were in attendance for the movie were just, we were gifted with that treat. And the thing is that from the screening, not everybody from the screening went to the after party. There's a lot of people that just left after the movie was finished. And then even with the after party, like, there was like a nice chunk of time that went by. Like, it was long enough for people to kind of like hang out, mingle a little bit, but not like too long. But I know that my friend was the only person that left. But for those that stuck around, it's like, Flaming Lips are here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And so I just was loving that experience. And at some point, the director happened to be like right next to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for this. And I'm just able to share my joy and my appreciation with the director, and that was also cool because it was very, very random that he would be like standing like right next to me. So I don't know. It was a good night. So Flaming Lips are always, they are tops in my book, always, and they're just cool guys, super, super cool. Let's see. Ooh, Tap In, Sweetie. Now that is the sample that's used is a Too Short cut that a lot of people recognize, and that one is just, it's something about that particular beat that just gets you moving. It gets you moving. Come on now. Last Goodbye, Jeff Buckley. I may have mentioned that particular song before. I know, like, the album that song comes from, I've shared other songs, but it's Jeff Buckley. It's very haunting. And I believe, was that his first and only or the last one? There's something significant about that particular album. What else? Up by Cardi B. And I believe, and just to let you know, so starting at this point, these are a lot of the songs that I heard on my birthday. I was just maybe I made a subconscious effort to just listen to nothing but good music on my birthday, because it's my birthday. Even though I try to listen to good music all the time, but on my birthday, I'm like, no, I'm hearing nothing but good stuff. I'm not going to put up with anything less than. So, Up by Cardi B. Maybe Midnight, in parentheses, Help Is on the Way by Toby Mac. That particular song is one that caught my ear when I happened across the Christian music during my drive. I don't know. It was a good song. No Limit, G-Eazy, A$AP Rocky, and Cardi B. That's just, I love that one. It hits hard for me. I love it. Plain Jane, A$AP Ferg, another banger. Bottoms Up, Trey Songz featuring Nicki Minaj. That one was just like kind of a throwback. And when I looked it up, it's like, man, this is in 2010. That was a time. Like, that was just a whole nother time. And I just remember doing a lot of dancing and performing around that time and around that song. It just, it brings up a lot of memories, that one. Telepatia? I think that's how you pronounce it. Telepatia by Kali Uchis. And I know I've mentioned Kali Uchis before. I think like over the summer, maybe early fall. But here's yet another track from that album that just, it's gorgeous. Just, I love it. Circles by Post Malone. I don't know why, like, he doesn't, like, do it for me, but for whatever reason, that song, anytime it plays, it's hard for me not to listen to it and not to sing along. Whoever produced it just knew what they were doing, and they really made a great hit out of that song. I know it's poppy, but it's like, I don't know, something about it. Now, this particular song, it's Put Your Records On. This is a cover that is done by Rit Momney. is the artist. And I normally don't like covers. And even this one, when I heard it, I was like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar. I've heard this song before. I recognize the tune, or the melody. Sorry. And then I realized what it was. I'm great at naming that tune, so I knew what it was just after hearing a couple measures of it. And I don't know. I don't like it, but then there's something about it I do like, and I can't put my finger on it. I think if I had another listen or two, I could figure it out. But anyway, Leave the Door Open, Bruno Mars. That's off his latest album that he does with Anderson .Paak. Kind of like a throwback album, and I love it. I am definitely here for it. Be Kind by Zach Abel. I heard an interview that he was doing while I was driving, and he just sounds like a really cool dude. Just really nice. And so, I don't know. Be Kind. It's not like it's a huge mega hit, but it's just something just very nice and pleasant about it. Two Occasions by The Deal. That one was like a nice throwback, and it just has you feeling a certain way. But the Deal, they had some hits. Hits. Yes. Tell Me It's Real, Casey and JoJo. That, again, just another time. This is just songs from another time, and it was a time that was pretty good. Now this one, I'm not too sure. Si te agarro con otro te me mato by Sydney Magal. And I can't remember why I had that one down on my radar. Like, I don't know if it's because it has like a very 80s sound with lots of lasers, and it just, I don't know. I think maybe that's what it was. Like, I just heard a bunch of lasers, and it just sounds very 80s, and it just cracked me up. So it got on my radar. Check the Blueprints, Caro One, which when I saw the artist name, I was like, wait, KRS-One? So, but this is Caro One, like Kero One, like Caro syrup, but it's Caro One. So check the Blueprints, and actually now this will be today's music that I heard. Submarine by L'Imperatrice. Submarine. All This Love by DeBarge, and it's just DeBarge, need I say more? And Hold On by En Vogue, Around the Way Girl, LL Cool J. And I know I heard something with the Jets earlier today, and I think it's Rocket to You, I heard. But the Jets, it's like, the Jets. How did you know that I never told you? Found out I got a crush on you. Man, I just love it. So that concludes the music that has been on my radar all month, and I suggest you get into it. So I want to say thank you again for just listening to me ramble on and go on and on and on. I do appreciate it, really I do. And thank you to those of you that sent out birthday wishes. I know I haven't gotten to all of them yet, but thank you in advance for the ones to come, and thank you for all the ones that happen before my birthday, on my birthday, and after my birthday. So thank you. The birthday wishes have been well received, and basically I've been really busy. This month was just go. There's never a dull moment, and if this is any indication of the summer or the year ahead, it will definitely be quite an adventure. So to that, I say, here we go. And enjoy your golden hour. Woo!